What's happening, everyone? It's Peter, founder of Expedition Money, and I want to tell you about one of my favorite side hustles. This is a side hustle that I guess I knew existed, but until recently, I'd never actually met anyone that actually did this. And this is the yard sign side hustle. So I actually have a son, and it was recently his first birthday, and my wife wanted to have a happy first birthday sign out in our yard so that we could have a party and people would know it and celebrate it. And she called some companies and found a local company that would come and put Happy Birthday Theo in our yard, and they would go ahead and set it up and take it down. And it's one of the many things you would do maybe for a party, a graduation party. You get your tent and your catering and all these other things, but it helps a lot of people make sure that they're at the right location. And you don't have to do it at your home, but you could do it at a park or a venue or something like this, assuming you have permission. But when you book this, what the companies will usually do is find out exactly what you want, what message you want, and then they will come set it up in time for your event. So in my case, the event was on a Saturday from noon to 4 p.m. And so what I didn't know is I assumed maybe Friday they'll come and set it up. So I'll have this yard sign in my yard for the whole day. And then maybe Sunday they'll take it down. It's actually even easier than that. And I think part of the reason is security. They don't want people messing with the signs or getting lost in the wind or getting vandalized or anything like that. So the company that we hired for $180 brought the signs over and set them up late at night the Friday before, probably around 9 or 10. In fact, I didn't see them set it up. There was actually a little angled part of my yard where it goes into a ditch. And so they use that like kind of stadium seating or terracing to make sure that you could see the sign. So they did a great job. They put it all there. It said Happy Birthday Theo. It had balloons and some decorations with it. And then at about 5 o'clock on Saturday, I noticed the sign was gone. So you are really renting it for the period of time that you need it. And they came at some point and took it away. So a lot of people took pictures, but I was expecting maybe it to be around all evening. But you're getting the signs for your required duration. Now, what I will say is it came out to probably about $45 an hour, about $180, $190 for that 4 hours. And even though I had them longer than that because they were set up the night before, they were gone pretty quickly after the event as well. But I did get a chance to talk to the owner about this because he was local and I got a lot more insight. So I wanted to share that with you. First of all, as I said, the yard signs get set up by them and picked up by them, so it's no hassle to the people. And in his garage, he has a ton of these signs. In fact, what he said is that he bought initially a bunch of signs from the companies that make these. They seem like they're corrugated PVC. They're on wire stilts, wire frames. Essentially, you press them or step them into the ground. They're very much, I think, like campaign yard signs, but they're a little bit bigger. The typical starter set comes with all the letters and numbers so that you can spell out a word like happy birthday and a person's name. And then they also come with some standard things like balloons and teddy bears and graduation caps and gift wrap presents and some of these things. So you can buy from the companies that make these starter sets that will usually allow you to make any sign that you want. And then you just stack them in your garage, which is what he does. Now, he actually said that his starter set was just like letters and numbers and a few decorations. But over the years, as people have asked for more specific things like more graduation signs or teddy bears or hot air balloons, he'll add those to his repertoire. And now his garage has quite a few other signs like holiday sleighs and reindeers and a bunch of other stuff. But he's only added those on when he's gotten a job booked. And because it's only $20, $30, $40 to buy the extra decorations that he needs, if he charges $150 to $200, he's making that money even though he's buying some additional signs. But he's also doing these sign jobs, sometimes a few of these a weekend, and getting $200 a pop. So you can bring in anywhere from $400 to $600 for the weekend. And again, what I love about this is that there's no utilities. You can drive these signs over in the back of your SUV. There's no water hookups needed, electricity or power cords. You don't have to run a pump to keep an inflatable bouncy house up. You can set it up and pick it up pretty much anytime you want. And what I also like is you don't need any specialized help to do this. So if you're doing it and it's in the evening, you can just turn on your headlights to where you're going to set it up and set these things up on your own. And if the customer doesn't like it, they don't necessarily have to call you to come back and adjust it. They can just move it themselves, pull some of the signs out, space them out a little bit differently if they want to. And so what I was thinking about here is that other than running the small business and charging and figuring out how you're going to invoice and get paid for these things, you don't need a lot of other inventory. The vehicle that you drive every day is probably going to be enough. You don't have to hire anyone special. You don't have ongoing monthly costs unless you're going to store these somewhere. And in a month, you could bring in a couple $1,000. And if the inventory that you need for these signs is $1,000, you're talking about paying for that in your first month of business. And I love the fact that you don't necessarily need to be busy every day. You don't have ongoing monthly costs. So I was thinking about setting up a business like this for myself here, buying some of these signs, storing them. If you have a basement, you can stack them kind of like books on a bookshelf so that you can pull out the ones that you need. I was certainly happy with the service and the sign, and I think it sounds like that most people are. And it sounds like a business that a lot of people overlook because maybe it sounds a little bit too easy, too cheap, maybe too low brow for most people. But as I talked to this gentleman, this wasn't his only job. This was his side hustle. And so he's working a full-time job, storing these signs in his garage, and making a pretty nice living with it. So if you want to buy some signs, if you want to set up a website to promote it, put yourself on Facebook, maybe start some social media, I think that this could be a great business that you could start. I think I might do it too, and we'll see how the results go. But it's definitely something pretty simple with a decent amount of upside. So if you want to pick up some of the starter sets for these signs, I'll put links to them in the description below. But I'm hopeful that it might be the first business that you get into and maybe the most successful. I'll see you later.